Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Double honors to all the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and salutations to all the Akim and Alpha tuning in and listening. This is another live stream, reporting live in Chicago. I want to get into this is Isaiah 62 and 6. Double honors to all the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. I want to get into
This is Jeremiah 28 and 8. The prophets that have been before me. Jeremiah 28 and 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. And that is what we are doing here today, right before you, live in action. We are a branch of the branch of Great Millstone, Chicago, coming at you with some more of it.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 9 and 1. And he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. And that's prophecy, man. And that's our job to report on what the Lord got going on, man. And really, like, we in the end times here, man. You see what's going on. Like, it's this thing called black fatigue. Really the Lord is putting the spirit on, like, really the whole world's getting tired of Jake, man. 2/3, man. And really the Lord is preparing vigils, to judge.
Can I interject real quick? I got you, brother. That black fatigue is really Esau projecting, because what the world is really tired of is Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Jacob's not affecting the whole world. The so-called white man is. That's why you got 13 African countries that just basically threw the middle finger up to Donald Trump and signed on to be with Russia and in BRICS.
That's awesome. Yeah. The accuser of thy brethren.
All right, they project.
Yeah. This is Revelation 12 and 10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now has come salvation and strength in the kingdom of our power and the power of Mashiach, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night.
See, because in the world, Esau, Edom, he would try to make you think that the way of living that most of our people live in the so-called ghettos, that they just woke up in the morning and said, hey, let's be this gang. Hey, let's do this. Hey, Esau, Edom is the one that funded most of the gangs' activities, man. Still to this day. The guns that are in our so-called neighborhoods, these guys are all on Instagram taking pictures of. Hey, that shit get dropped off in our neighborhoods, man. Literally. Those train derailments that Esau, Edom have and make it happen like it just happened out of nowhere.
They get dropped off by lawful government agents. All right? I'm going to tell you that again. Those guns that came, those guns that makes its way to the neighborhoods get dropped off by lawful government agencies, man. Evidence of that is that those weapons that they sent over to Ukraine are getting into the hands of all the people in the region. All these other people in that whole region now have those weapons and are using those weapons against U.S. soldiers and shit like that. So it's the same thing. It's the same thing all over. All of a sudden you got all these people in the so-called Middle East and all these different spots. All right? Go ahead, brother. It's back on.
This Revelation 11 and 18. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come in the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants, the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth. And that's why these people have to be destroyed. If they don't be stopped, there ain't gonna be no flesh to be saved when the Lord comes back. If these evil devils, bloodsuckers, parasitic, good for nothing but destruction, do not be brought to destruction themselves, it's gonna be nothing.
They're gonna destroy everyone in themselves.
They destroy the earth, they pollute pollute your air with chemtrails. They pollute your water. They pollute your food. They done polluted marriages. They done polluted sex. They done polluted everything. Nature. If you look around, even the trees are in cages, man. The trees crying. Nature crying. Nature is confused too. When I was coming up, the birds, some of the birds would migrate in the winter. Some of them, they just stay here.
Yeah. And the birds cry and make noise all night long too. When they used to sleep at night. You didn't hear a bird until 5 o'clock in the morning. Now birds are all night because all the shit in the sky and the 5G. Right?
White devil here.
Hey, white devil.
Get him. He said it himself.
He know who he is.
Make way for the white devil.
He said it himself. He know who he is. Make way. They know.
That's right.
Go ahead, brother.
I got something real quick. This is Matthew 24 and 22. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. And this is why the Lord is speeding up the time, because the more we continue on, you see how polluted this place is. And nobody righteous will be worth to be saving, man, because you see how this shit is going, man.
Nobody will be saved if the earth continue in this estate, man. You know, and that's why we hold on to the faith that we have within the scriptures, man. You know, believing that our Lord is going to come back and save us out of this condition. You know, because Esau, you know, he have the people, so like our people minds, he literally have them, man. You know, we are captive right now, and a lot of our people, they have that slave mentality. They still think as slaves, and they don't understand that the ways that Esau Edom put over them is to their destruction, you know?
I got something. This is John 10 and 10. The thief cometh not before to steal and to kill and to destroy. And that's what the nation of Edom does. That's just their spirit. They have to do that.
Yep, and he started with your heritage, man. You know, he told you that you were black. He told our people that they were Mexicans and everything else that he put upon our people, man.
It says, I am come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly. So, Yahushua, he says, due time you will set one over that's profitable.
You know, that's, yeah, because, you know, the Lord is going to redeem us, man. Right now, we are the most deprived people in society, man. Like you said, we've been robbed of everything here, man. And the Lord is going to, the Lord is going to redeem us and put us back in rulership, man. I got one. This is Isaiah. This is Isaiah chapter 14 and 1. For Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land Yahweh for servants and husbands, handmaids, and they shall take them captives from captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. That's what the Lord is going to do, man. And that's what the Lord is going to do. The Lord is going to replenish us, man, because right now we've been stripped, man.
Yeah. He said, he specifically said, they shall rule over their oppressors.
Right.
All right? So that eliminates a lot of people. So we all know what people are being oppressed still to this day. Right? My man said to this day. Right? Nothing has changed. You know, the true people of the Lord are still being oppressed. Right? Even though it's a beautiful thing to see by with this reggaeton. Right. Look at that. Take all into the shit. All right. Yeah, but yeah, you made me forget what the hell I'm saying. Spanish speaking nigga. Go ahead, brother.
This is Baruch chapter 3 and 8. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from our Lord, power Yahweh. And that's the punishment that we're in, man. You know, but this is why we out here, because we understand that the condition that our people are in, man, and we want the Lord to come get us, man.
They know we serve a powerful Lord, man, that literally scattered us among the heathen nations. To where many of our people actually look like the heathen nations. They don't look like they used to, like they looked on that sign, right? Many of our people look like the heathen. Then that same Lord was merciful enough to awaken us out of that state. You know, that's a beautiful thing, and brothers should be excited and happy that we're living in the time and the era when that is so. All right, we're at that part of the prophecy. And what that means is that we're at the end. All right, we're at the end.
John, there's no dying and coming back to slavery. Right?
Yeah, right. We're not dying and coming back and have to, you know, live under their rulership anymore. All of us is suffering. Any of our people that's in prison, any of our people that's homeless, that's sickly. This is the last time that you have to go through that. Right? That's it. This is it. This is the last time that we on the bottom. Because whether you make it the first trip out of here, or if you die on this side, when you come back, because we all come back, the Bible tells us something. All right? But when we come back, this next time, we come back in rulership. All right? You come back on top. Right. Put your foot on the necks of those who have ruined and destroyed the earth. Right. Those who have oppressed you and oppressed your people. All right? Thus saith the Lord, not me. All right. Go ahead, bro.
This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28. I'll get straight to the point, verse 13. It says, and the Lord shall make thee the head and not the tail. And thou shalt be above only, and thou shalt not be beneath. If that thou hearken unto the commandments of the Lord thy God, which I commanded thee this day to observe and to do them.
You see, you know we're going to be perfect. I'm going to give it back to you, brother. Because he's going to put these laws, statutes, and commandments in our inward parts this time. So we're going to be able to go off. You understand? We won't be able to do wrong, because this knowledge is going to be in us. It's going to be a part of our inward parts. Right? So that way we won't break the laws, statutes, and commandments. And as long as we keep the laws, we stay on top. That's why our kingdom is going to be an everlasting respect.
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and 51. Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump. For the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. And that's what the elder was talking about. That's what we want, man. We know we trying to get out of this chains of darkness, man, because we go off even when we don't want to go off, man. You know, and that's why, you know, the Lord got to come and destroy this place, because this place is set up for us to go off. There's pork in every aspect, man. You can't celebrate, you can't serve on the Sabbath how we want to, man.
We're supposed to. Yeah. He made you come in the word. Yeah. He keep moving everything around you too. There's certain things you're not really supposed to be around on the side. You're forced to just be in it.
Well, you not only that, man. You know, the contaminants and the shit that they put in the water, the food, and the clothing. You know, there's some things that even in the clothing, you know, they make it very difficult for us to, you know. So for anybody screaming the law, nobody can keep it 100% on this side. We have to keep it to the best of our ability. And you can do that by not eating certain things. You know, you got control over certain things to a certain extent. You can definitely not, you know, blow your load on the Shabbat.
Right.
You can avoid women, you know, there's certain things that you do have control over. Some brothers ain't got no choice but to work on the Shabbat, but not in our kingdom. Right? I mean, if we was in our kingdom, every time we see an alphabet, you know, swords would come. You know, but we can't do that. Matter of fact, our alphabet have more rights than we do. on it right now. And more protection. Right? Jake goes to the hood and hurts some of his own people on some gangbanging shit. You know, he might get 10 years, or he might get 10 years, and he have to serve less than half at probation. But if you go and you unalive an alphabet weirdo, your ass might be doing 25 to life. You know? So exactly. So they have more rights than you do. I know that in California, they put a bill into play. I don't know if they signed it, if they did it already. But I know they were trying to make it real quick. Somebody in the back on you, brothers. Leviticus 20 and 13. It's, you know, if a man lied with the man, that scripture is deemed complete 100% hate speech. And California legislation, they're trying to remove this scripture to get it to where you can actually do jail time for quoting this scripture or reading it out loud. Go ahead.
This is the book of Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 13. If a man also lie with mankind as he lied with the woman, both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them.
Right, so that's a hate crime, or they want it to be a hate crime in the state of California. So just for reading. So if you're telling you you're telling two alphabet dudes, hey, look, in the Bible, this is what the Lord said. I can get a dude for hate crime for sin. So that's how you know that this man is completely opposite of the Lord, man. And you know the Lord be working in mysterious ways. Y'all see this brother's jacket, man? Hey, turn around, bro. Let me see the back of your jacket. Look at that. See that? Hey, the Lord works in mysterious ways, man. He has no idea. But yeah, that's a mighty jacket that he wearing, bro. All right, because he said we shall be changed. That's when it happens. He read that scripture. It happens when what's on the back of his jacket happens. All right? When all them ships show up. Okay? Yeah.
I got it. This is Isaiah chapter 5 and 20.
And that dude in the Edomite shell, that's a Jake, man. That dude Jake Hunter. Yeah, you see his walk? That dude, that Jake 100. That's why he stood there for so long. It resonated with him. He sagging, skin pale, hair stringy and greasy. That dude a Jake, man.
This is Isaiah chapter 5 and 20. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. That's what this is. It's upside down. Everything about this place is against the laws of the Heavenly Father, man. And that's why the Lord said, woe unto this place, which is destruction, man. That's why judgment has to come quick.
Which is a beautiful thing, man. Because for years we've been prophesying, and people scoff, and some people believe. But the beauty is that people are seeing. People now they're seeing. You know? The Lord is making things happen, man. So what we've been telling you all along is happening right in front of your face now.
Just backing the brother up right here. This Matthew 19 and 30. But many that are first shall be last, and the last shall be first. Why is that? Because, like the brother was saying, the world is upside down. So when the Lord comes back, He's going to turn it right side up. The whole earth is out of course, like the scripture says.
It's Psalms 82 and 5. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course. Yeah, everything's out of course, man. All right? And like the brother read in Isaiah 5 and 20, man. Hey, both of them they call evil good and good evil, man. Everything is upside down. This is you can say bizarre, what's it, bizarre world. You know what I'm saying? It's out of course.
This total.
That's the book of Isaiah, chapter 29 and verse 15. Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord, and their works are in the dark, and they say, who seeth us, and who knoweth us? Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not? Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding? And that's Esau Edom, man. Esau, the whole world is out of question of this man. He poisoned the food, poisoned the water. He's trying to make sure Jacob's down. And he turned everything upside down, man. Everything wicked in this world is because of Esau.
Yeah, he got on the way here, we watched the video of these doctors. Now all of a sudden these doctors are standing up and speaking against the C-19 thing and the effects of the people who put under the needle, right? So, and all those people that were put under the needle, and now they're having ovarian cancer in 10-year-olds. They're having, what do you call it, the cancer in your ass, prostate cancer in 10-year-olds. These children, and what's the common denominator in all these children? All these children have injuries, and this is a worldwide thing. All these children have injuries that were put under the needle. These were all the people the stupid people who took their children to allow them, you know, and now you're having all these different heart problems, issues, and scars, and shit, messed up shit going on with the heart, with all the people who allowed themselves to be put under the needle and took their children to be put under the needle. Just like Dr. Tar said, you know, I believe that they took him out personally. He was the award-winning Golden Boy until he started speaking against, you know, the needle shit. And all of a sudden he became a quack, didn't know what he was talking about. But he said, what was it, 2022? No, he said in 2021. And he said in 2-3 years, and then now it's that time that the sicknesses and the illnesses will start to show up, and it has. You know, all the myocarditis, the sudden deaths, all this shit happened right around the same time that he said it. He was on point. So even in death, his work still remained because he said this shit was gonna happen. You know, and he was right. He was right because you know, and it's funny how that just made its way out of the headlines. You know, like people aren't still dying from you know, they were put under the needle. People are still dying and still sick from that shit. And the doctors are all on the internet telling you how they're treating people and battling to get people's health back. And it's directly related to the people who went under the needle. Right? Meanwhile, Esau Edom is ignoring the facts and ignoring the important shit, and he distracting you with Diddy. Right? And every time these Edomites get caught doing some shit, they put some brown faces in the news. All right? Because every time somebody mentioned Diddy, I'm like, well, what about Epstein? Yeah. What about the Epstein list? There's some Jakes on there too, but you got big name Amalekites, big A-list Hollywood celebrities, you know, royal people from Europe, all kind of shit. You know, Diddy a small fish, man. When you gonna talk about the Epstein list? When we gonna hear about that?
It's like, no, I'm paying attention to the niggas.
It's like, no. Put the niggas on there, don't
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Put on another Diddy video.
Right. Take that.
This is Sirach 10 and 2. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein.
Yeah, because Esau Edom rules with deceit, man. He completely rules with deceit. Like for example, he plays with the number. He makes all these people that are from North Africa, that are from Western Asia, all these people of color, all right, even probably almost half of the, if not all the Hispanic population, they get labeled as white, which makes the numbers increase for them. and tell somebody Hispanic commits a crime. All right? It's the moment you commit a crime, you Hispanic.
Take it back.
You ain't white, don't you?
Take it back.
Right? You notice that?
Give me that back.
They white on paper until, you know, all of a sudden they Hispanic. That's how you become Hispanic. You get caught doing a crime or accused of a crime. You know, now that's not a white guy. He's Hispanic. You know? So Esau, he rules with deceit, man. Right? He's a liar. And he rules with hurtful deceit. Hits, scriptures, hits.
I got some. This Mark 3:26. If Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand but had to bend. And as the elder Malcolm was going into, these whistleblowers, if you got these devils telling on each other, doing the Spider-Man meme, he doing this and they doing, these devils don't like each other. So this kingdom coming to an end. It can't hold. They say a house be divided. It's over with. He through.
Isaiah 19:2.
I got a quick one, please. This is Sirach. Going on, Sirach 10:3. An unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be happy. And that's Esau is that unwise king, because he destroys his people. He kills his own people, man. He's evil to himself. So how much more of Israelites, man?
Yeah, if you're not a part of his little club, all right, now I got this Greek client, this older chick, she's probably my oldest client right now. And she was, you know, we were just chopping it up, and she was telling me the story how she went to school with all these rich kids. And one of her friends went to this, you know, this famous preparatory school. And they low level, rich, you know. And how she and her, this was one of her college friends, she's in college. And she went to one of the famous preparatory schools, like, you know, you brothers young, there used to be a show called Facts of Life. They were all the little rich kids in the preparatory school, all right? But said she went, she got invited to an event because of her friend. And that when she went to the event, her friend's father, you know, was chopping it up with her. And you know, and asked her what she was majoring in and what did she do, you know? And when he told her that when she told him that she was a teacher, she said he immediately looked down on her and just stopped talking to her, because that's how Esau is. Because he felt like, oh, I need to be speaking and talking up. Well, matter of fact, I don't even want you around my daughter. I'm trying to get my daughter hooked up with these people. Going over there, peasant. Go over there with the niggas. She said that was the first time that she felt prejudice and racism from the white people. She said I felt something little. I can only imagine black people feel like, you know, in experience. You know, she was like, God damn. You know, and it's like, well, shit, I'm only here because your daughter invited me. I don't want to come around your stuck-up ass. You know? But, you know, it just goes to show you. Esau, he shits on his own. He don't care. If you're not a part of his conglomerate, and right now his conglomerate, I'm going to give it back to you, brother. But his conglomerate are the A-nationals, right? A-nationals mean that they don't have allegiance to America. They don't have allegiance to Israel. They have allegiance to their money, to their power. And they are part of these organizations that rule over governments and countries. And what you have to understand is that America is now useless to them. That's why they allow America to participate, right? Those A-nationals are controlled by Amalek, for sure. But you know, he got other people in there with him, but it's controlled by Amalek. And they're rich and powerful, and one of those organizations we like Vanguard. All right, what's the other one? BlackRock Vanguard. They completely, those are your A-nationals, which are above the law of every land. Okay, and they rule over countries and governments via lobbyists and other shits. All right, and so the A-nationals, they don't give a damn about the rest of you white folks you got in Christ. Because Amalek don't even care about Amalek if he's not down with his program. All right? So all them Amalekites that run around, you know, speaking against Zionism and stuff, they don't care. You're going to be on that same list to get put to the sword with the rest of them who speak against them. All right? Because the Zionists are definitely a branch of Black Rockets and Vanguard. 100%. All right? The leaders of the Zionists, their puppets being controlled by Vanguard and Black Rock. You best believe it. All right? If you don't, don't believe it. All right? Till you end up in one of their death camps. Go ahead, bro.
This is Sirach, chapter 14 and verse 5. He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? He shall not take pleasure in his goods. There is none worse than he that envieth himself, and his recompense, and this is the recompense of his wickedness. And if he do it good, he do it unwillingly, and at the last will declare his wickedness.
Right. You saw Edomite that try to help Jake. They gonna call him a spigger lover, a nigger lover. All right. That's what they gonna call him. Especially they women. And then at this point I would think maybe probably about half of the Edomite women is fucking with Jake and the other heathens, man. All right. I just, you know, on the way here, I just left Murph. Murph had to work. I just left the area where he worked at, you know, because he was crazy. He worked in my old stomping grounds. But I used to hang out when I was a bouncer. And when I was in the clubs, he there now. Same area. All right, shit crazy. And I always say Murphy is my life all over again back then. All right, but you know, but I saw nothing but badass Edomites and heathen women, and a big portion of them were with Jacob. You know, or other heathens. They were Elam, they were Ishmael. You know, a lot of them ain't really fucking with Esau. Go ahead, Mark, you got something.
This is Obadiah 1 and 2. Behold, I made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised.
They're greatly despised. Job 27:14. They're greatly despised. Give up Daniel 4:17. Bring it out, brother.
This is
27 and 15. About his women.
This is Job 27 and 15. Those that remain of him shall be buried in death, and his widow shall not weep.
Right, and the reason I had to read that scripture and spoke and said what I said earlier, because if you go on to YouTube and other platforms, you will find more videos where Edomite women are condemning the actions of their men than they are speaking up for them. I'm not lying. You will find more videos where Edomite women are clowning. He think he cold, but he suck. He ain't even right. He trying to be out here on four wheels. You gotta be cold. It's like, bro, you out here making it. Man, bro, you ain't representing. Nah, and he right. Nah, well, let's skate shit. Chicago thing. ATL niggas picking up after the fact. But the point is, I'm just telling you the truth. This is where all them cold ass skaters came from, right here. Right. And he made them look bad. He was shaming them. Shame. All right? Yeah, you can't come out here like that if you ain't cold. Go home.
Go home. Practice.
Right? But the reason getting back to the point, the reason I read that, or had the brother read that, is because there are more videos on the internet with Edomite women condemning the actions of their men than they are big up. They're calling them out for their hate, for their racism, for their crimes against humanity, for their crimes against people of color, for their crimes against so-called black people, for their oppression. All right? Go look for yourself. You're gonna find very few where they're screaming white power and good for them. They're out there too. You know, they're out there too, but you're gonna find more of their women in support or against them than you are going to find with them this current day and age, because they see it, you know.
I was gonna say, feminism helped kill it.
And who promoted feminism? Esau Edom. And now it's backfired on.
It backfired. There's a sentiment, I saw a video that's going viral. It's this Edomite lady, and you know, she's seeing the signs of the decay of the empire. So she's like, white men, we need y'all to the front line. We need you guys to be strong men again. There's a bunch of white men, they gave her a rebuttal. They said, like, fuck. They said, they were like, no, to hell with you. What are we gonna get on the front lines for? He said, for years we've been shamed, we've been called colonizers. For years we couldn't speak up about nothing. You know what I mean? And then he was like, y'all chose the bear. He said, let the bear take the front lines for you, man. So feminism has completely divided the nations, man. Jake is fucked up, Edomites are fucked up, Elam is fucked up. Everybody's men and women are against each other.
Yeah.
That's why scripture said, like the scripture said, a house divided, it can't stand.
Right, because I know a lot of Iranian American women shit. They on that, you know, like if you go to Iran, women are in fucking order.
I know that's right.
But here in America,
rebellious as fuck.
They rebellious, they just like the nigga woman, right?
Just like it, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. A Iranian woman all off beat with her hand on her hips.
Right.
But she doing that shit though. All right? Yeah. She's still doing it though.
That's good.
Right? And like you said, that's all that's the curses now turning on Esau.
That's right.
That's exactly what it is. Go ahead.
That's Deuteronomy 30 and 7. And then that curse should be delicate. This Deuteronomy 30 and 7 says, and Yahweh thy power will put all these curses upon thy enemies and upon them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. And it's their turn. You know what I mean? We have suffered because of our indignation against Yahweh B'Shem Shah Mecca. Now he's turning the curses on the heathen, predominantly Esau, Edom, and the rest of the world. It's their time for their punishment. It's their time for judgment. We've suffered ours. Our judgment is at an end. Now the rest of the world are going to feel our pain before the Lord destroy this place. And we can't wait. It's beautiful watching everything unfold. We standing out here in great boldness telling you that it's an end to Esau's Edom's kingdom ruled by this white devil here in America. And the Edom who the chief among the nations who run in America. So all of them going down together. And it's beautiful to watch it unfold.
This is Sirach 10 and 8. Because unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another.
I've been waiting for that one to come out. Here, I'm going to read a definition, man. This is a definition out of that King James Dictionary Bible that I have, that I recently acquired. And this is a definition of deceit. All right? And this is how they rule. Right? That basis of men that was set up, deceit, a catching or ensnaring, right? Someone can look up ensnaring and they get the Edomite. It says the misleading of a person, leading of another person to believe what is false or not believe what is true, and thus ensnare him, right? Fraud, fallacy, cheat, any declaration, artifice, and practice which misleads another, like the people they misled to go under the needle. And now all these people died as a result of it. The needle did more damage than the so-called disease, all right? Or cause them to believe what is false, all right? Definition number 4. Number 3, stratagem, artifice, device intended to mislead. Definition number 4, that which is obtained by guile, somebody look that up, fraud or oppression. So if they can't deceive you into it, they're going to oppress you into it. Now they're going to up the thing up, get under the needle, right? Exactly. You need to go get that needle, nigga.
This is guile in the etymology. It's a mid-12th century old French guile, deceit, wild, fraud, rouse, trickery, probably from Frankish wiggler, trick, wheels.
And it's funny, all this is coming from most of these words come from Eurasia, usually between 14th, 15th century. What was happening around that time?
We were going down.
Right, exactly. and the Renaissance, all right? But they were telling you truth in their words. And the funny thing is that a lot of these words, fast forward to now, they've been revised, and a lot of these definitions that we use, they won't come out modern dictionaries. All right, they've revised the meaning of a lot of words, or simply remove words from the Bible. From the dictionaries in themselves. Go ahead. What did I call it? Snare.
Snare. It says etymology of snare: noose for catching animals.
Ensnare. Same thing though.
And ensnare, formerly also ensnare from make or put in, plus snare. So put in the snare.
Put in a trap.
Put in a trap. Deceive.
Yeah, so the trap, the snare is a trap. They read it anyway.
It says snare. It says a noose for catching animals. Noose, a snare. Yeah. It says anything by which one is entangled or entrapped.
Or entrapped, man. And how they entrap you through what? Contractual law. I'll give you a perfect example. All right? You've heard me say this before, but I'm gonna say it again, and I'm gonna give you even more details on how fucked up it is being under the rule of this so-called white man. So you got the ICC, which is under the Hague. All right, International Criminal Court, all right? Benjamin Netanyahu and many of his constituents, has been deemed a war criminal, and other people. And there are many countries that backed up the ICC, which was set up by a group, a whole group of collaboration of mainly the European Union, NATO, etc., which Israelis were part of that, all right? But now that they've been found guilty of violating those very same things, they don't honor it, all right? As a matter of fact, the U.S., along with Israel, has put sanctions, frozen the bank accounts of the ICC, or the International Criminal Court, out of the Hague. Now listen though, giving up the jurisdiction thing. Let me give you another thing. This is how you know that they just doctor and play with shit that don't benefit them. Because U.S. soldiers and people under the U.S. command, even if they foreign soldiers, that commit these crimes against humanity, against these foreign groups, and are found guilty of that, they don't get brought up on charges. The ICC has no jurisdiction over U.S. soldiers, all right? But guess what else is out of the ICC, which is out of the Hague, which is controlled by the ICC? Title 4D, child support. It's un-American. It's a foreign treaty, all right, out of the Hague. But the Israelis, they're saying that they're immune to it, that they don't have jurisdiction to it. Americans can't be brought up on war crimes, but American citizens can definitely make them payments though. You see the hypocrisy and the deceit and the wickedness, the double standards. So how is it that the ICC don't have jurisdiction over crimes against humanity? But, and in foreign treaties, no foreign treaty is supposed to have jurisdiction over any American citizen. Every fucking case of Title 4D child support is a foreign treaty, not from this country, but yet they have jurisdiction over American citizens. How is that? We're dealing with the devil. He's ruling with deceit. So that benefits what he's doing. Simple as that. And matter of fact, this one is so flagrant right here, right? I just wonder what would happen if the masses of people were to understand what I just shared, especially the millions of people who are entrapped in that snare of Title 4D, illegal. Both men and women, mostly men, few women, all right, but mostly men. Okay, I wonder how their reactions would be if they knew that. They might get a visit. You know that line from Dead Prayers about running up in your city halls, right? That could very well happen, man. But it just will show you that these people rule over you with complete oppression and deceit. That's a part of that ensnare. So how you have a law, and then you make certain people, we're all from the same group of citizens, under the same order, but you're gonna pick and choose what citizens are under this jurisdiction and what citizens are not under that jurisdiction. It's bullshit. Bring it out.
Here's the book of Isaiah, chapter.
Psalms 94, it says, Psalms 94, verse 20, shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frame administered by law? They gather themselves together against the soul of the righteous and condemn the innocent blood. But the Lord is my defense, and my power is my refuge. And he shall bring upon them their own iniquity, and shall cut them off from their own wickedness. Yeah, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, our power, shall cut them off. So yeah, they frame this shit by law. They twist and turn what they say. They write these deeds and these scripts and these papers and say sign this. But it's full of loopholes for them, that work for them. And they sell it to you as sound doctrine. They sell it to you as it's fair. They sold you the American dream, and you found out it was a nightmare.
It's a nightmare. So he brings some contracts, but he leaves a back door for himself, but it snares everybody else. You know, it's like he's in a theater that he knows is going to go up in flames because he got insurance on it, right? And he sits at the seat in the back by the back door, all right? And he waits until you halfway in the theater. And everybody, you know. He gets up, goes to the door, and screams, fire! And then shuts the door. And the stampede, everybody gets caught there, and he just collects up the insurance. Right? That's Esau. Because there is a law, in case you didn't know, against screaming fire in a crowded place or a crowded theater. Something to that effect. There's actually a law book for that. Right? But that's Esau. You know, he got an insurance policy on his building anyway. So, you know, those people are just collateral damage. And that has what I just explained. I actually saw that was from a movie. That shit really happened. And I think it might have even been here in Chicago, where it happened at one of them theaters down there, like in Randolph, somewhere around there.
This is Genesis chapter 25 and 27, talking about Jacob and Esau. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter and a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. And that point, Esau a cunning hunter, man, because he not only is he an outdoorsman, he hunts for people's souls, man.
He hunts. And he's cunning. Per example, too, the Twin Towers in Building 47, which nobody seems to, you know, Building 47, it's like, what the fuck is that? That was the third building that came down, right? There was 3 buildings that came down on 911, right? There was a shorter 47 building that came down the same manner that didn't get hit at all. But somehow, you know, right?
Away from it. Don't get that out of it.
Exactly. Pretty much. So you had the 2 towers came down, and then you had right there in the same vicinity, part of the same facility. You had a 3rd building that went down. And a lot of Americans don't even know about this shit.
Forgot about
right?
it, yeah.
And the killer thing is that the guy who owned the whole compound took out an insurance policy a couple days before the event happened.
Damn.
He had a renewed insurance policy, and in that insurance policy, one of the things where he would get paid was the event of a terrorist attack on the building.
Oh man.
So I'm gonna get it right. So it's like right. So just in case there's a terrorist attack on these buildings, and
And you have Israelis looking out 3 buildings celebrating when September 11 happened.
Yeah.
How did they know what the fuck was gonna happen?
they have seats
Why did they have
and telescopes and seats. I mean, lawn chairs and shit on the rooftop.
Hey,
Drinking.
they call them the dancing Israelis.
Yeah, then they turned out to be Mossad agents or some shit like that. Yeah, and some woman reported them, and they got pulled over. They have surveillance. We were here for the show. So nigga, you knew? You had tickets? You got seats? You got tickets to this shit? You knew? So they probably got some of the insurance payments.
No, the insurance that would paid out, man.
Oh, and then for supposedly, if an airplane hits a building, you would see debris of an airplane. There was no fucking debris.
None.
There's no debris. You just seen charcoal, not charcoal, but you just seen burnt grass and a building that was fucking massacred. That's about
The
it.
engines would still be around.
Where the seats at?
See,
Where the
every
passengers?
look, because every plane that goes down,
That's a
there's
fact.
seats, luggage, and people and bodies all over
Yep.
the place.
Yep.
All right?
What was the jet fuel explosion to this jet that had fuel that would have blown up a building? It perfectly collapsed on itself.
Yeah. Jet fuel, no. Those steel girders inside.
Right.
Okay? I've used these pillars as an example. All right, you put the camera on all these pillars that's holding up the train station. Inside those concrete pillars are steel. All right? UL Laboratories. It's U.S. Laboratory stamped. Right? Those big ass pillars in the middle of the street. Right? Those are the main. If Samson was around, he wanted to bring it down. Those are the ones he would push down. All right? You push those down right there, the whole thing coming down. Now inside of those are steel. If a plane, a fucking 47 can fly, a big ass plane can fly right through here and hit that, blow up, destroy everything here, guess what's gonna still be standing? Them goddamn pillars. Some of the concrete be torn off of it and everything be burnt, charred, but this wouldn't come down. It might move and shake and rock, but it's still gonna be standing. So ain't no way. And they built those towers to withstand impact. So, and then you had those cuts at the bottom, and they came down in this footprint. All right, footprint meaning if my head get lopped off, it lands where my feet is, facing in the same direction. There's no way that they can happen unless my body is taken completely out of the way at a high ass speed.
Right.
It have to be a high ass speed, because if I get taken out the way, my head will fly and just go anywhere. But for it to come straight down to where my feet is, you understand what I'm trying to tell you? All right, there's no way it could happen. So only way that a building, if you had a bunch of blocks, say if this was however many phones it would take to make it this high, stacked precisely on top of it, okay? Straight down to the ground. Let's say it was about 70, 80 to 100 phones, all stacked on top of each other. The way this one is going to land, right in the same place where it's sitting, is if all the ones beneath it are moved out of the way.
Right.
And how does that happen?
Like
Controlled demolition.
Yep.
Give me a phone. So that means every phone under it has to be moved out of the way for the one on the top to come down. You understand?
Yeah. Right.
And I looked at a special.
That's the only way that anything can fall in this fucking footprint, man. And I just gave you an elementary ass physics lesson that's far above anything that they said or did. All right?
And they took a minute for it to fall like that.
Right.
Too,
So the only way it can happen, because if this was a stack of phones and you knocked it over, it'd be phones fucking everywhere.
Yep.
They'd be everywhere, just like the debris. If those buildings came down the way that they said it came down, it would have destroyed everything within a mile radius around it. There would probably be as many million people, there's something like 8 million people that be in Manhattan every day. You probably would have had a couple 100,000 people die that day if those buildings came down the way that they said it happened.
Yep.
Because you have metal file cabinets in there, all right, on every floor, and it probably was 100 tons of file cabinets on every fucking floor. You ever come across one of them old school file cabinets? They slide out.
Yeah.
Them old, so you had thousands upon thousands of file cabinets, damn near on every floor, hundreds and hundreds of tons, right? You'd have had those buildings were over 100 stories high. You'd have had 30 stories of fucking debris.
Yep.
Like I said, and that would have went all into the apartments, knocked down other buildings. People would have been on the 24th floor. All of a sudden, shit would have came through and pushed them right out their building. Exactly. That shit would have came down and all that debris would have came right through your 21st floor and pushed your ass right out. And you'd have came down 20 stories with everything that was in your apartment. Yep. The death toll would have been, so that was a controlled, give me a phone. That was a controlled demolition for all those phones beneath it to move so that this one comes down in its own fucking footprint. And not only that, all 3 buildings came down in their fucking footprint. And you dumbass people with all these fucking degrees, yeah, all you stupid motherfuckers is scoffing and is gonna see this video that believe that you're dumb. You're stupid. That's what you are. You believe that, you're stupid. That is who you are. Okay? Stupid.
Just focus on paying off your student loans.
Yeah, exactly.
Focus on that.
I watched a special on how they had the 4 pillars on the inside of that building and how they built it. So yeah, that's super cool. Yeah, no, that's controlled.
So that means that they have to have workers come in there. Because if you were gonna bring this down, you just can't tear it down, right? You'd have to tear it down section by section, and the last things that would come down would be the pillars. You can't pull the pillars down first; it's gonna collapse. All right. And the strongest part of this platform is the fucking pillars.
It has to be.
The only thing is, like, you know, on the day of the Lord, when the Lord comes, there's gonna be nothing left. All right. So you have to think how powerful the arrows that fly from one end of the earth are going to be, to where they melt this away till it just turns to dust, to where it gets so hot that, and then the explosions that come behind it just blow it away to dust. All right. What do you say? A day of fervent heat, what they can melt the elements. All right. What can be so powerful that it can burn all that concrete and metal away to where it gets blown with the after explosions? It just gets blown away in the dust. There's nothing left there. That's what's coming here. All right. That's what's going to happen to this place for all those lies and deceit. And so everything that's going on today with the foreign policy and all these laws where they're taking away your rights and all this surveillance and shit, it all goes back to that day of the great fraud where these small hats and their constituents pulled off this lie that they still got in the history books, still teaching that lie to children, even though all the evidence that it's a lie is out. Okay? It's okay, had that, by the way. And all that information is out there, and yet they still teaching that lie to children. Go ahead, brother.
Psalm 64 and 5. Psalm 64 and 5. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privately. They say, who shall see them? They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. But the Most High God shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded. So shall they make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. And all men shall fear, and they shall declare the work of the Most High, for they shall wisely consider his doing. It says, the righteous shall be glad in Yahweh Shem Shai, and shall trust in him, and all the upright in heart shall glory.
Yeah, and so all the upright and high, that's the saints, man. We're the only ones that's going to be, you know, that's going to be glorifying that great and powerful day. And what they're showing you is that, you know, with the whole BRICS and all the nations being angry with Trump right now, like them 13 African nations, they say you shame us in speech, and then you turn around and try to make deals with us and want us to make deals with you and use our resources and shit like that. When you shit on us in public, they're like, no, fuck you. We going with China and the BRICS, man. And that's exactly what they're doing, man. All right. So basically, Edomite supremacy has backfired on itself. It's backfired, right? To the point to where the nations are seeing, just like the world is seeing Amalek for what he really is, man. All right, and it's becoming normal conversation, even among the heathens, that those are not the people of the Lord. It's not just us anymore, all right? And then in the reverse of that, the rabbis keep pointing out the fact that America is Esau, Edom, that America, that white Christianity, Western Christianity is ASAP. I mean, I don't know how many days, and it's like it's a new video surfaces every week of another rabbi telling you that America's finished. Right? Every week there's another rabbi telling you that America is ASAP. A place of great wrath and destruction. Okay? Now you know they're not saints to do that. This nigga walking this like old school. No front tire. That's some old school shit right there. They can do that. I guess they bringing it back. Go ahead, bro.
Here's the book of Revelation, chapter 11 and verse 18. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, in the time of the dead that they should be judged. And that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants, the prophets, and to the saints, and to them that fear thy name, small and great.
And what's their reward, man? Let's read some of them. Somebody get Ezekiel 25. Somebody get Psalms, dash thy little ones against the stone. Two-edged sword in his hand. Then you'll finish it.
This is Ezekiel 25, verse 14. I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my...
This is under 12, brother.
This is Ezekiel 25 and 12. Thus said Yahweh power, because they Edom have dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, and have greatly offended and revenged himself upon them. Therefore, thus said Yahweh power, I will stretch out my hand upon Edom and cut off man and beast from it, and will make it desolate from Teman, and they from Dedan shall fall by the sword. And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by my hand and of my people Israel.
Right. So Israel, that's the rewards that the saints are going to get. One of the rewards that we all hoping to be those men. We're going to actually get to physically put our hands on Edom, right, and get that vengeance, man. Go ahead.
And they shall do in Edom according to my anger and according to my fury.
So we can't even get mad enough. The Lord going to put his anger. Right? Go ahead.
And they shall know my vengeance, saith Yahweh power.
Get the other. What you got?
Psalms 137 and 149. Count 37 7. Go ahead. This is Psalms 137 and 7. It says, remember, O Yahweh Shai, the children of Edom, and the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. O daughter of Babylon, ought to be destroyed. Happy shall he be the reward of thee as thou hast served us. Happy shall he be that take from dash thy little ones against the stone.
Right, man. So, like that image in Bartholomew de la Casas' book, the eyewitness to the I forget the exact title, but basically it was a witness to the atrocities, you know, to the Northern Kingdom, you know, in the islands and in South America. And one of the images in that book, you got they would put them on I forget what they call it, but it was a thing where they were barely hanging, where you were hanging and your toes were barely touching the ground, so you died slowly, all right? Because your hands were tied and you had a noose around your neck, and your feet were barely touching the ground, so eventually you just got fatigued and you choked to death. It's a slow, agonizing death. They would either do that or they would do the same thing and burn them. And while they were doing that, they had an Edomite over there with the Jake baby by the feet, smashing their heads on the stone. So while you tied up, choking to death, you watching them grab your children, the children of your neighbors and of your tribe, grab them by their feet and bashing their heads on the stones while you choking to death. This is how you this is why you're Catholic, and this is why you speak Spanish. That's how it happened. Learn some history, right? Go ahead, brother.
This is Psalms 149 and 5. Let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. Let the high praises of the Most High Yahweh shall be in their mouth, and a two-edged sword in their hand, to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron, to execute upon them the judgment written.
Right, so when we come down off of those chariots, man, all right, we coming down off of there with swords in our hands. And none of your bullets and your guns, none of that shit gonna help you. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna help you at all. All right, and we're gonna be putting you to death, correcting you, putting your nobles, you know, getting them up out of them $1 million bunkers. They'll come right out of them bunkers, all right, and get put straight in chains, man. All right?
This is
You already know Papa got that man.
yeah. This is Numbers 24 and 18. And Edom shall be a possession. Seir also shall be a possession for his enemies. And Israel shall do violence. Out of Jacob shall come he that shall have dominion, and shall destroy him that remaineth in the city.
Yeah, so Jacob gonna have dominion, man. The kingdom of heaven is about Jacob having dominion here on earth. All right? Governing the earth under the law. That's why the Lord's Prayer says on earth as it is in heaven. Right? Because we're going to finally apply the Bible, the scriptures is going to be the rule of law. Finally. Not the Constitution. Not the Polish Constitution. Not the Canadian Constitution. Not the American Constitution. But the Bible. Right? The law, statutes, and commandments are going to be the law of the land. Enforced by the melanated people. Because any of our brothers that are pale, they're not going to be pale no more. All right? That look is going to be gone, man. We're going to get it all back. Okay? That's what it is, man. Right? And it said that Jacob's going to be among these people, man, among many heathen. All right? Y'all about to get it, man. The game is close to that time. So, you know, it's like, you know, Jacob's in that mind. We like, pull the trigger, man. Do the shit you're going to do. Shut this bitch down. In case you brothers didn't know, how many of you brothers know what Event 201 was?
All right, right before.
Right. So, all right. So, Event 201 was a practice run done by the WEF, the World Government, and Kill Gates was at the head of that. Right. There was a practice run on what to do and how to shut down and control the whole world in the event there was a worldwide pandemic. Right? About a month and a half after they successfully did it, it happened. The same way on 9/11, there was a practice drill at NORAD. Same way, there was a practice drill at NORAD, which is right there in Colorado Springs. And they were scrambling the fighter jets, the military jets, to the West Coast do a practice drill on how to take out planes and taking down high-rise buildings. Okay? In case you didn't know, so while the planes were shooting out to the West Coast from the Rockies to do this make-believe drill in New York, across the country, shit was going down. And the pilots are like, what the fuck is, they're hearing all this shit, this chatter, and they thinking it's a drill. So it's like, fuck it, we gonna take it to one's close to us. I mean, it was bullshit, man. So who has the power to do that? To scramble fighter jets and and make something, a drill, go real, man. And all of a sudden you heard some of the fighters saying, wait a minute, this shit real? This not a drill? All right, because they could have easily shoot, man, those jets could have left. Those jets are so fucking fast. They could have left Colorado and been in New York in time to intercept anything. All right. So once again, you had this event, you had that event. Yeah, they go nick a sparrow, and nick a Captain Sparrow.
Oh, he's back.
Damn. But so anyway, now that you understand that there was an event, a false event or a make-believe event of a biological, an outbreak, okay, of an outbreak that went worldwide. Now the same organization is getting ready for its events. We had a lot of pale cheekage, all right? But now you have them getting ready for the same drill with a blackout.
The cyber.
Right? So now it's going to be a worldwide cyber. So the same thing's happening. So you best believe they get ready to do that. They get ready. So they having a drill. They having a practice drill. That means it's coming. They get ready to do that shit. And then it dawned on me that damn, that's the famine of the word. Because when they shut it, it's too much evidence and too much information that's being shared. Anything that I've said, you can go look it up. When I do my videos, I show you receipts, books, names, titles, dates. All right, where this information came from.
And that's why
I just don't say some shit. Okay? So
that's why Israel won't have an excuse like the other says. It's not a mantra. It says them risking their lives and their freedoms to do so. Because we're not just talking on a whim. Even when the others are doing the live, Elder, what I'm doing Sunday, I'm verifying the videos, the articles, because we want the utmost truth to be exposed, man.
Yeah, so
we're not talking of ourselves, man. We're speaking to the Spirit of the Lord, man.
Yeah, so if it's something that I can't prove or don't think is true, I won't even speak on it.
We'll double check it.
Yeah.
Because there's the Spirit of the Lord that wants these things to come out.
If we find out that it's true or not true, we'll say
we'll apologize, we'll double check.
Exactly.
We're the Church of Berea. We're willing to check if the things were so, man.
Yeah. So the point being is that the same organization that was responsible for Event 201 is about to do a worldwide cyber blackout.
Yeah.
So, and it dawned on me that because why? They want to scrub the internet. So all our channels and all this information will be gone. It's never coming back. Because the only way that you'll be able to go on the internet now is if you have the MOTV. And you got to register and sign in, and you also have to meet their social, social credit criteria, right? You got it. So there it is, man. So that's how they're gonna bring it back. So the thing is that when they do this blackout, how long are they gonna do it? Because we already know how many speeches was given. What Kill Gates said. Well, if we can bring those numbers down, if we just bring to the needle so many people, right? And then they scoff when people. He said that so many times in so many different speeches, and then people will say, "Well, that's propaganda." No, nigga, that's what he said. We can bring those numbers down if we just can get everyone to, and then you dumbasses go line up. It's like, that goes to show you how stupid Americans are.
Hey, but the Edomites thought they didn't include them because they're like, ha, 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 ha.
Right.
They're all chucking it up with them too,
Yeah.
showing all their teeth, and they were part of that same equation. He said, we got to bring this number down by 10, at least 10 times, man.
So my belief is, me speaking as a man, I think that when it goes, because think about it like this, if it went out right now, okay, it'll get wild, but not crazy wild. It'll get wild, right? Day one, you know, because day one, actually niggas would be scared.
Yeah.
Day two, people gonna start, but by day three, the smart niggas is thinking looting, home invasions. It's gonna, by the third day, it's gonna be murders, rape, robberies. Murder, rape, robberies. Oh, that's what it's exactly. And if that went on for 2 or 3 weeks, then they're gonna get all them numbers that they didn't get from the when they put people under the knee. Because the smart people said hell no to it. All right, so they weren't able to unalive enough people. You're right, because now it's come out too that was also a plan to get the older generation because they didn't want to pay out all that Social Security, retirement to all these boomers. There's too many boomers. So they had to pay out all this insurance to all these and all these 401ks to all these older people. Well, shit, if we can get them to take this, you know, then So exactly. So I'm thinking, well, damn, if they leave this shit off for 2 or 3 weeks, if they leave it off for a month, the deaths would be in the fucking millions. It'll be in the fucking millions. I'm like, oh shit. And that's so I'm like, damn, could that be Jacob Trouble? Could that be it? And then when they turn it back on, when they bring it back, the complete beast system, and everybody's all the people who are against it are gonna run to it.
That's right.
Because it's like, shit, I survived this shit. I done lost my friends, my family members. Nigga ran and closed the door on his wife. He behind the door crying. She out there getting and he behind the door crying and shit.
Elder, I know
there'll be some bitch niggas that do that.
No, Elder, I know this Ephraimite that did with COVID. He said with that C319.
Don't say that word, brother.
God, Salakia. With that C319, he said, hey man. He said, hey bro. I said, hey bro, let me go make you some money. I got some money for you. He said, listen bro, I haven't let my mom in my crib in 2 weeks. He said, don't come by my crib, man.
See?
He said, I ain't even let my OG in my crib in 2 weeks. She don't even come here, bro. He said, my own mama ain't even see me. Get out of here.
No, the C-19 was a test run. They collect data. He wants to see how quickly you niggas turn on each other. Propaganda. You want to see your habits.
And then they saw the ones who could see.
Yeah.
Right.
It became what was that movie? They live. Then all of a sudden, because then all of a sudden they can see the ones that, oh shit, these niggas can see.
Yeah.
They can pick out which people among the nations, because there was a lot of white people, a lot of Edomites saw too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that was like, wait a minute. And then you had all the dummies who lined up. Right. That stood in there and gave their shoulder and their arms. And all of them are sick with heart problems and
hey, what they
all
doing from
kind
New
of
York,
issues.
he said, I'll do it for a
blood clots.
cheeseburger.
Right. But then they would say, oh shit, now they got on record the ones who can see. But guess what? This cyber thing, it ain't gonna matter. Because so that people gonna run when the lights come back on and the power's restored and order. All of a sudden the lights come on and you got law enforcement and troops in the street restoring order. They gonna line up to take the you know what, man. Bring them out. We gonna wrap it up.
Micah chapter 2 verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hands. And just to touch on, because basically what's going to kick it off, supposedly, there's going to be a bug that hits the internet. And it's going to affect the internet worldwide. So they're going to have to sanitize the internet. In order to sanitize the internet, they got to shut the grid down. And they already got, what's the word I'm looking for? Participants and shit.
And they also talk about the Chinese that are already here.
Right.
The people, the agents that are already here, and that they use components, and these components are going to activate, and they're going to lose. So when they do shut it down, they're not going to be able to get it back up because all these things are gonna kick in, so they're gonna be able to blame it on the other nations or whatever. So this shit is all set up to happen. So it's like I said, this is the same organization that kicked off the C-19 thing.
Read out, read.
They're going to blame it on right-wing extremist groups. That's a large umbrella. It's not just Edomites. And what they getting ready to persecute Jake. So marvel not when you see on the news, oh, they're attacking power grids in the city. It's a bearded Jake doing this shit. Might have fringes on.
Well, you just had
Elias Rodriguez, free Palestine.
Right, exactly. You just have two so-called Israelis and so-called, because I'm waiting to see the receipts, and if that shit was another one of them staged, we'll see. But yeah, so with all the issues that's going on with Issachar, he gonna say free Palestine, the same way that the song goes with Loki, the rapper, he gonna say it just like that. With all the issues that Issachar having, he worried about the Palestinians. And then so all these fucking Palestinians and Arabs in Chicago, why the fuck a Jake gotta stand up for him and wait around and pace back and forth to take out some small hats? Why it can't be Abdul in them?
Balil Mohammed.
It's gotta be Jose and Pedro. Bro, what the fuck, man? They full of shit, man.
Yeah, man.
So that story, once again, the story has more holes in it.
Swiss cheese.
Swiss cheese. We'll see what happens to it.
Balil Mohammed ass nigga.
Jake, you're gonna be the new face of T-ism.
Yes.
Yeah.
So in America, they about to make Jake the new face of T-ism, man.
That's the whole thing. And they starting with the Northern Kingdom.
That's right.
All right. And they gonna deputize all these apartheid Edomites they bringing in.
Good.
They gonna deputize them right along with some of them good old boys. Yeah, and there you go, man.
Good.
But they gonna find out the hard way that they've been lied to about numbers.
That's the point. These Mexicans are gonna learn that Jesus Christ is
they completely lie about the numbers. Like the people believe that that it's only that black people make up 14% of the population.
I thought it was 13.
14. It's a lot. Look, it's way more than that. They lie. Just like when they lie about themselves and they make melanated people, including black ones, that come from North Africa, come from Western Asia, from the so-called Middle East, and different parts of the world, they labeled as white when they come there. I think I said that before you brothers walked up.
So Europeans,
how they make the Northern Kingdom, especially Mexicans, white when they come into America. Until a crime is committed, then all of a sudden they're Hispanic. Right? They white on paper, all right, in documents. Until a crime is committed, then he's a Hispanic man. Right? It's like, hold on, this nigga was white yesterday, now he's Hispanic.
The Spanish get labeled as white when they come here. They don't get labeled as Hispanic.
And that's the point. And that's exactly until a crime is committed. Right. When a crime is committed, you lose that white status quick.
Hispanic.
Right.
He's Dominican.
All right. So, and all this is going to lead up. Somebody get Revelation 13:16, and we're going to wrap it up, because all this is when that shutdown comes and all the chaos comes, it's all leading up to the MOTV, man. Whoever got it.
This is Revelations 13:16. And he calls us all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark on their right hand or in their forehead. That's the MOTB, man.
Yeah. That's it, man. You got to read more, brother.
And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name.
Right. So you got to get that charisma, man.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Incision of the flesh.
So and don't listen to IUIC, because they telling you that if you say it, you can, you're good to go. Really, that's what they doctrine say. People can buy and sell, because they say that it's sin. So as long as you sinning, you can buy and sell. So what they really telling you is to sin. They don't realize how stupid their doctrine is, man.
Yeah.
So with that, man, we're going to give all praises, all honor, and glory unto
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash.
Kwam Yasharallah.
Kwam Yasharallah.
Abba Babal.
Abba Babal.
Turn those machines back.